So we're trying to remove the lower leaves from the tomato stems to also allow light to reach the growing bed again. What do we do at this time during this season? So in addition to harvesting, there are still tomato plants. There's still a good production of tomatoes, but we're still going to start sowing the next vegetable. Specifically here on this bed, we're talking about spinach. This is called interplanting. The light needs to be able to reach the soil again. Since the tomato is a climbing plant, we let the tomato stem run along, completely stripped of leaves right down to the ground. We reach a spot where there are flowers again and tomatoes that are starting to ripen. Then we guide everything back up along the string that we use to train the tomato plant, almost as if it were a young tomato plant again. And this helps increase the productivity of the tomato plant. Once I've removed the leaves from the tomatoes and the sun can reach the soil again, I sow spinach, and that's what we call interplanting. And that's what creates high productivity per square meter in a vegetable garden that uses the principles of permaculture and ecoculture. It's really interplanting. We're not doing companion planting. Actually, the spinach is grown alongside the tomatoes, but it's at the end of the tomato season and the beginning of another crop, the spinach, on the growing bed with the tomatoes. At first I sowed mizuna or mesclun. I did 2 or 3 harvests that I put in my first baskets in April. Then once I had harvested all my mesclun, I transplanted tomatoes, basil or parsley, Welsh onions, lettuces and cabbage. So that makes 6. And now here we are, the tomato swell. We've harvested a lot of tomatoes. We've pruned the suckers, removed some leaves, and now the light can reach again. And now we're sowing our spinach. So that's the 7th crop. The mistakes I made as a beginner were being completely overwhelmed by time and sowing my spinach much too late. Here, in my system, I decided not to do any winter crops. I stopped selling at the end of November and resume at the beginning of April. If I sow my follow-up spinach plantings too late, for example, well, my spinach leaves are ready too late for the sales period. Well, after that, it's fine for my own consumption, but that's how it is. So it's kind of like that always being caught off guard a bit, because there's so much work, seeing time fly by and not having taken enough time for sowing spinach.